It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that you people. He meddled in things. He meddled in.
Where will we go next? It's a phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Muller.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hi, I'm Alex Kaiju.
I'm Jasmine with.
I'm Eli Watson.
And I'm Stephen Myers.
And you're listening to
Cryptid
Campfire.
It's our 100th episode, baby!
Uh-oh.
Ooh, break
Hello.
out the balloons and the champagne, everybody. We hit the big 100.
We really did, guys.
Yeah, and if you give us $1 for every episode we've released, that would be $100.
Good math, Eli. I am so proud of you.
Oh.
And that's right, everybody. Pay up. We're coming to collect the bill.
No, but guys, this is kind of crazy. So we're doing our 100th episode today, and it's going to kind of be another retrospective. Our 30th episode came out on May 21st of 2019, which was a little more than a year ago.
Oh.
And
it was a different time.
It was.
Go.
That was the first time that we did a retrospective episode. We kind of introduced ourselves, told the story of how this podcast came to be. And today we're going to kind of talk about what's happened over the last year since then and reflect on how we've grown. But I just wanted to say, I re-listened to our 30th episode, and it's so funny and it's so cute because we were so excited to have 889 Instagram followers, and now we have that plus 4,000.
Do we have 4,889?
We have 4,800 something. It changes with a few every day, but we're in the 4,800s right now. Let me check.
Right now, at this moment, we have 4,877.
Mine says 4,879. We have different numbers?
Ooh.
How is this possible?
I don't know.
Jasmine tapped into that mythical 5G everyone keeps talking about.
But it was so
What?
funny because we were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we have 800 followers. And it is so cute. We were so humble. And now we have even more than that. And it's so fun to listen to. And if you're listening to this but haven't listened to that and do enjoy our content, I highly recommend you go back and listen to how, we came to be. It's really entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And I was sick.
Oh, were you?
I was very sick, and you can tell. I sound like an idiot on there because my voice is like deep, and I'm not making coherent sentences half the time. So,
Oh yeah.
I was just sick, okay?
There was a couple times like, is anyone following him?
Yeah. Yeah, well.
And we replicated it today. Eli's sick as a dog, everybody.
No way, dude. I'm over it, dude. I don't want to be sick no more. Yo, last year, Stefan, do you remember? I got sick like 5 times in like 4 months.
Yeah, man, you had terrible habits.
What? Yeah, I went to the doctor.
I'm just kidding.
It was because, so I kept getting sick, or so I thought. I was like getting sick, but like not really sick. And, I don't want to brag by saying this, but I don't have allergies to anything that I'm aware of.
Well, what did I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Oh, big spender over here.
Yeah. I went to the doctor, actually, to get that investigated, and they told me that I had allergies. They said there was so much pollen in the air last spring that people without allergies were getting allergies. And that was me.
Yeah, that was, dude, Idlewild in July, I think, or whenever we went, April, my nose was terrible.
Oh, yeah. I was even sick the first time we went camping, bro.
Yeah. Not so.
But then I mean, how does the timeline go? Jasmine, lead the conversation, if you
You want
will.
me to lead the conversation? All right. So I did put together a timeline of some of our biggest accomplishments and things that we've done over the past year so that we can look back on them and tell stories or reminisce in any way we'd like to. So like I said, our 30th episode, which was our first retrospective, came out on May 21st of 2019. And then a couple days later, on May 2019, we released our first vlog, which was us going to do our photo shoot for our Cryptid Campfire website,
Still the best one.
which was launched in June of 2019. Our vlogs have been one of my favorite things to go back and watch. You know, we've done a couple photo shoots, we've done a couple holiday celebrations, and they make me so happy. I've literally rewatched them. The one from Christmas, there's that moment where things go black and white and there's this legit Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer track playing in the background in freeze frames of all of us making weird faces, and I just crack up every time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great video.
My favorite one from that is, what does Stefan say? He's like, whiskey, gin, and some other type of alcohol, and then I reverse it, so he says it backwards also. And you can hear Alex going, woo, every time.
It's a good one. I like that one.
I miss being able to go out and get food with you guys, too.
Well, things are opening up now, Jasmine.
This is true, but we still need to socially distance.
Yeah, I'm for not going to restaurants still.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. Wait.
Yeah, Colton just said he didn't know, apparently it's all over the news that Arizona has a huge spike. But he's like, I don't know what to do, Stefan. Everyone I talk to here, doesn't know anybody who has it. He's like, what's going on?
Jeez, yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I think I went to Sizzler the other night for my brother's graduation, though. So that was different.
I was going to be like, what on God's green earth led you to the Sizzler?
Well, yeah, it's my brother likes Sizzler. I was like, what about Golden Corral, which is across the street, and in my opinion, much better. And
I don't think buffets are the smartest place to go to right now.
No, they actually have the buffet
open.
Closed.
Oh, okay.
You had to order other food, which kind of sucked, and half the tables were closed off. So they're doing a lot of restaurants are doing that limited seating thing.
You mean I only get one plate for $15? This is outrageous.
That's an extra $2, sir, if you keep it up.
It's not fair.
That's an extra $3. You want to keep going?
That's
what I thought.
Welcome
to Sizzler. Abandon all hope, ye who enter.
Yeah.
So our website launched soon after we made that first vlog in June of 2019, and only 1 month after that, we did our Bigfoot Mountain finale, in which we introduced Stefan to the family.
Hey.
Woohoo! I was gonna say a year ago we were super excited to have 800 followers. Now we got 4,800 followers, and our very own Stefan James Myers.
Oh, which one's better? The followers for sure, right?
No.
No.
It was a buy one get one free deal, so you're a bargain.
Aha.
That's definitely the biggest difference between now and then is that we have a new team member.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we should talk about where Stefan came from, huh?
Yeah, Stefan, when were you born? Where? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Stefan, where'd you come from?
Stefan,
where did I meet you at?
Yeah, who are you, sir?
Yeah, because in our first retrospective, we kind of talked about how the three of us knew each other and how we got together. So tell us about how you know us and why you joined us.
Okay, well, I used to tend sheep in Vermont, and Eli came by on his paper route one day and hit me in the face with my morning paper. You know, I'm outside smoking my cigar, drinking my coffee, minding my own damn business, and here I go getting hit with my daily morning newspaper. Okay, and I said, "Hey, boy, come here." Then he kept rollerblading along with his older brother. I said, "Hey, you get back here right now. I'm gonna teach you something about respect that your daddy never did. All right? No, I'm just all right."
And what'd you do to me?
You joined the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Oh.
You say, "Hey, I'll kick my older brother to the curb if you join my podcast." I said, "Okay." He's a deviant.
Yeah. I want everyone to know I don't have an older brother anymore.
Oh. Stefan had 2 questions. When and where? And Eli said, Bigfoot Mountain, the very top. Find your own way up there.
Yeah. That's
I'll
right.
be there. And the
Yeah,
rest is
but
history.
I guess in all honesty, we all know Stefan because he used to work at the same movie theater we did.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I
I'm so
remember
sorry.
Stefan thought I was Jewish.
Not in a bad way. Why do you say it like that?
No, yeah, I don't know. You made a bunch of Jewish jokes at me one day, and I was like, all right. And then you asked me if I had ever been to synagogue, and I said no. Why would I ever go to synagogue? I'm not Jewish. That's what I said, and you were like, you're not?
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I really believe you.
I was ACM that day. If you guys go back and listen to the retrospective, ACM is a position at the movie theater, alcohol compliance monitor, and Stefan was the bartender that day, but it was a slow shift. It was a, like 12 to 6 o'clock shift, and that's 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So like no one was even in there drinking, and it was just us two up there, just talking and stuff. And yeah, then somehow I didn't talk to Stefan for a long time. And then we started hanging out again in 2018 when I made a movie. That's right. I made a movie or a sequel to a movie I had made with Stefan back in 2017. And so Stefan was crossing over into this one, but I was starring in it. This film never came out. And Jasmine was supposed to be in the sequels. And if you go back and listen to our retrospective, I think I mentioned that I was rewriting them and they'll come out eventually. They have still not come out. But yeah, so Jasmine and Stefan were in those movies. And then after we made the sequel, which never came out, I started hanging out with Stefan a lot more. And then it was in 2019. Yeah, that was last year, right? Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm like so lost. Um, it was when Jasmine had talked about, kind of rotating, doing one episode on, one episode off,
Mhm.
going into the future, and we decided. Say again?
I was just gonna say this is because I was starting an acting class that was gonna be happening on the same nights that we usually record. So we had to come up with a solution. Do we all change the recording days, which means everybody else has to change their work schedules to accommodate me? Or, we were trying to figure out a solution, and I was kind of overwhelmed at the time with the amount of research I was doing. Uh,
Right.
and I needed a break.
Yeah, and so that's why we brought Stefan on board.
But
He said,
he had expressed interest though before I had even said anything about wanting to step back, didn't he?
I think so. Yes. I think it stemmed from Stefan. I don't know if you remember doing this, but it was when the podcast first came out, and I asked you to listen to it, and you didn't for like the longest time. And then I just kind of at that point I accepted, oh, my closest friends and family probably aren't going to listen to my podcast, which is true for my family because they're really not into this stuff. So I'm not really hurt by it, and I wouldn't say that Stefan is too into this stuff. So, I wasn't really hurt by it. And then one day, Stefan texted me out of the blue and said he went skating and like listened to 5 episodes in a row.
Whoa!
Stefan, do you remember that?
I remember I was skating and then I went to Amoeba and I was listening to I think the Bronze Age was on while I was at Amoeba, and I listened to that entire thing.
Jeez. What a pinnacle episode.
It really was. That's the gold standard was in the Bronze Age.
I know it ended and I was still at Amoeba. I'm like, whoa, I've been here a long time.
How did I even get here?
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where you, I think, started expressing interest. I think you said it as a joke. Or maybe you meant it semi-seriously.
We'll never know.
Kind of like how I pitched the podcast to Alex.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Was it a joke? It was kind of semi-serious. I was like, hey, we should start a podcast. And you're like, you should let me be on the podcast. And I probably just laughed and walked away. And then a couple months later, it came true.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's history.
Yeah, we're just going to say that after every story. And the rest is, as you say, history, you know?
Yeah, but, you know, Stefan did all the Project Blue Book episodes with us, which was dope.
Oh, man, I remember. Why did I come over? It was, for some reason, we must have been recording 2 episodes. One I was involved in and one I wasn't, because I just remember, like, taking a nap while you guys were recording and thinking, how long is this freaking episode gonna be?
Yeah, I think if you listen to all of the Blue Book episodes, including 1.5, it comes out to about 5 hours.
Jeez.
And they're not even really about Blue Book half the time. It's about Hynek, so
Yeah, the hurricane himself.
they should be renamed Hurricane Hynek episodes, not Project Blue Book episodes.
The Hurricane Files.
But I guess we do go through the history, right? We go through like Grudge and Sign and or Signs first, and then Blue Book. But like I said, we start when Hynek is born and go to when he dies. So it's not that much about Blue Book.
I mean, it's Blue Book is like the base of the story, but we really learn about Hynek, his hopes and dreams, his hero's struggle and journey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the prime example of why I needed to take a step back. I mean, I would not have survived if I had done all that research for those really long episodes at the same time while taking a class. Like, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been able to do it. So
They would have said,
Sure.
Jasmine, prepare a monologue, and you could have just spouted nothing but Blue Book facts.
that's true. I could have overlapped, double dipped in my my studies.
Yeah, your Juilliard audition is like a 2-hour Hynek retrospective.
He was born the day of the comet, and he left the day it came back.
Which is true.
Yeah, I still can't believe that's true.
Yeah, it's really nuts.
That's a good guy right there.
Oh, and Stefan did our Roswell episode too. That was pretty nuts. I guess. What's next on the timeline, Jasmine?
The next big thing that we did was in September of 2019 when we launched official Cryptid Campfire t-shirts.
That's right.
That's when we broke into the stratosphere of trying to manage t-shirts.
Oh, but I do want to say, because I went to the Oregon Bigfoot Festival in August, and I did a little vlog there. Was it August or was it July? It was one of the two. And sorry to sidetrack from the shirts, I guess, for a little bit, but I was recognized there by some strangers. Yeah, I think his name was Andrew, and he got my picture. Andrew, if you're listening to this episode, can you post that picture online and tag me in it, because I want to see it.
Especially
Anyways,
see how much you've changed in the past year.
Yeah, dude, that was the day I met Cliff and Bobo. I met Paul Graves. Dude, I met so many people there. It was lit.
You
Met
also
Bigfoot
took
himself.
You also took a couple shirts to give away to some people. I mean, they weren't officially for sale yet, but we had a few made that you took with you to the festival.
Yeah, I gave Andrew a shirt, I think. If I remember. It was a while back. But yeah, and that was a fun day. There was so much happening that day. I was interviewed for a movie which has still not come out. So, waiting on
Looking
that.
forward to see what you said.
I am, because I forgot what I said. But yeah, that was a fun day. Oh, I gave Cliff and Bobo shirts too.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the craziest part about meeting Bobo, because it was me and my dad. We get to the front of the line, because there's this long line to meet Bobo. And we get up there, and my dad asks him, he's like, "How are you doing, Bobo?" And Bobo's like, "I'm good, I'm good." And then we start talking, and he's like, "Where are you guys from?" And my dad's like, "Oh, we're like Temecula, like San Diego." And he's like, "That far south? What are you guys doing all the way up here?" And we're like, "We're here to see you." It's just one of the funniest things ever. But yeah, I gave him a shirt, and I gave him it was an XL, and I gave him the shirt, and he's like, "What size is it?" I was like, "It's an XL," and uh, he said, "That's exactly my size," and he just kind of looked at me and smiled. I was like, "All right, dude, all right."
I think
But
the craziest thing about our whole shirts being released is the fact that there were bootleg versions on the internet.
and there still are.
Yep.
It's
And
crazy, yeah,
there's
because we got a message, like a email or a message from
no,
someone
it was a
saying,
YouTube comment.
"Oh, that's right," and they were like, "Hey, I bought your shirt and it fell apart after one wash. This is some BS." We're like, "We don't sell T-shirts, not yet. we're
Yeah,
getting
right.
them made right now."
Yeah, it's like, wait, what?
And then we
So
found out that there were people making bootleg Cryptid Campfire T-shirts.
I'm tempted to buy one and just see what I get. But like I don't want to give them any money. We
I-
tried reaching out to them, right? There was one or two. There were two that we tried reaching out to, I think.
one was already gone by the time we found them, and then the other one I reached out and told them to take it down. And I think it's the same people who still have it up now, because I never received a response back. And it's American Tea Shop. Do not go there. Do not buy your shirts from that website, because we are not the only one they are stealing designs from.
Mm-hmm.
So they're cheap, and they suck. And they don't have any contact information. You go to their contact page, there's no phone number, there's no email, there's nothing on that page. That you have no way of contacting them. They have their address, which is a zip code for Van Nuys, California, but like the entire Van Nuys area, so that doesn't really narrow it down.
Yeah, so stay away from anything that's not the official Cryptid Campfire T-shirt off of cryptidcampfire.com.
Yes, sir.
They're made by the master Matt Craven. He's screen printing master.
He's the son of horror maven Wes Craven.
What?
And at the prices at the shirt is, you'll scream at the bargain.
Well, that's the funny thing. This American Tea Shop, their T-shirt is more expensive, and you have for shipping. You don't have to do that from us, guys. $20 flat. You get your Cryptid Campfire T-shirt.
Yeah, you'll
That's
get the T-shirt. You've been craven.
I'm gonna start charging for shipping now, by the way. It's a $3 flat rate, but that's how much it costs. So it's $20 plus $3, but that's it. It's $23 even.
All right, I lied, guys. Cut it out. Edit it out. It's not $20 anymore. It's $23.
Yeah. But still, not bad. You know what I mean? It's still cheaper than they are.
Mm-hmm.
What's $23 for a lifetime of happiness?
And we're thinking about some other possible T-shirt options too, right?
Oh, we're getting those made.
Oh yeah.
If they're not out by the time this episode drops, or at least being advertised. Yes, we are planning on releasing more shirts soon.
Whoop whoop.
Ooh.
And then, I mean, we did Alien Airlines for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we could talk about the first guest on our show.
Yeah, that's the next thing on the timeline. We started interviewing people in September of 2019. Our first interview being with author Carlin Betcha, which was crazy because she was actually the one to approach us and ask if she could come on the show. Which sometimes you're like, oh, why would you invite yourself onto someone's show? Like, that's so selfish. But it was like, when we got that message, we were like, whoa, someone wants to be on our show? What?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty dope. And she's awesome. Carlin Betcha's awesome, dude.
Mm-hmm. She's
Yeah.
not only an author, she's an illustrator. She illustrates her own books.
Yeah,
And
and they're dope, dude.
yeah, her the one week because we interviewed her about her book that came out, Monstrous, like the science behind monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And she had illustrations of Godzilla and King Kong, and I
Frankenstein,
think Bigfoot was in
vampires.
there too.
Oh,
Frankenstein,
yeah.
yeah, Dracula. It was awesome.
Yeah, I actually read that whole book and I did it while I was at work. Luckily, at that time, I had a job working at a different movie theater than the one that we all met at. But when things were slow, I was allowed to read and, do things like that. So I would have this book with me, and a couple of my coworkers were like, "Oh, what are you reading there?" And I was like, "Oh, it's about monsters." And then I'd tell them about radioactive pigs and things like that in the little side things that she mentions on some of the pages and some of the different chapters, and it was a fun read.
Oh, yeah. I would love to have her back on the show. You hear that, Carlin? If you're listening to this, come back to the show.
One of my other favorite interviews was when Nick Groff came on our show, which that was crazy
Mhm.
too
Oh,
because
that was wild.
yeah, it was pretty wild. It was actually his idea to come on the show as well because I had sent him a message just to let him know that our podcast existed and maybe get his opinion on it because I've known him for quite a few years. I was a supporter of a show that he was on and things like that. And when I sent him that message, his response was basically, "Oh yeah, cool. You want me to come on and talk about Cryptid Con and some other stuff?" And I was like, sure." I really just wanted him to know that we were making a podcast and kind of like get his opinion, get him to listen to it because it's like, "Oh, I've known this guy for so many years and I'm a fan of his work. It'd be really cool to have him listen to my work." And he was just like, "Yeah, cool. So when am I coming on?" And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Groff, dude. What a wild guy. He talked about Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was Stefan who found that. Remember? Because he couldn't remember what the title was. And then Stefan from the other room was like, it's Flight of the Navigator.
And that's how he earned his permanent spot on Cryptid Campfire.
Yeah.
He already had his spot by that time.
Yeah.
We took the training wheels off though, so he could finally walk in all full glory.
Stefan, remember how nervous you were in the beginning?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
it's perfectly normal.
Tell us about your
that's what. Yeah.
nervousness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want to talk about how uncomfortable I was? Awesome.
Yeah. Let's talk about all these traumatic experiences in your past in vivid detail.
No, yeah, I mean, I obviously hadn't gotten used to like the structure and like how research was done, that kind of stuff. And there were only 3 mics in the room, so I
That
had to
is
share
true.
with Alex. So that
Oh,
made
yeah.
me even more intimidated because I was like, why would I butt in and speak when somebody who already knows what they're doing is gonna do it better than I ever could?
Wait, really? We only had 3 mics?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we first started with Stefan, we only had 3, and then I bought the other one.
I don't remember that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm sure I looked very stupid.
No, it was just, it's one of those things to where when you do a podcast, you have to learn to adapt and survive. And I feel like everything we've done has just been trial and error of like, oh, we got mics, but the clamps don't fit the desk. We have to make them fit.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a 4-people podcast, but we only have 3 mics, so we're gonna have to share for a little bit so we can get the 4th one.
I truly
Well,
don't remember that.
it's because it was only supposed to be 4 of us for the end of Bigfoot Mountain, and then it would be the one on, one off. So we would never need the fourth mic. But then what ended up happening is it became all 4 of us like all the time. So 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 we needed the fourth mic.
Mm-hmm. And it was a bit of a challenge to try and figure out the 4-person format, because I remember, like, Stefan didn't want to step on people's toes, but I also didn't want to, like, overpower or talk too much. And so oftentimes I'd be like, "What did you get, Stefan?" And he'd be like, "Oh, you already said everything I had." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's like that's the Jersey Devil episode in a nutshell. I share everything that I had, and then I'm like, all right, you guys can talk now. And then Jasmine just goes, you said everything I had. It's probably one of the saddest episodes ever.
It's the dangers of when you do your independent research, is because we like to surprise each other, but sometimes we all have the same info.
Yeah, and that's kind of why that's when we learned that we should have some kind of structure. So, like, we used to just get right into it. Like, as soon as we all got, into the studio, we would sit down and record, and we would just start talking without any idea where each other were going to go. And so when we started encountering this problem, that's when we, decided, okay, maybe before we record, we should kind of like converge with each other and see who got what, and if there's anything specific like you want to talk about, and then what order should we talk about things in. So it got a little bit more organized. There's still some episodes that are a little bit all over the place, but we have a guideline that we work with now most of the time.
Yeah. Stefan, what are you doing in Los Angeles?
Right now, currently.
No, I just like what. How'd you end up there? Were you born in LA?
Oh no, I was born in Tennessee.
No, I wasn't actually asking you.
I was born in Tennessee, made my way to Kentucky for a bit, stayed with my family in Missouri till I was about 3 or 4, moved to AZ. Spent my entire formative years in AZ. But I was a high school graduate living with my 2 best friends in like Gilbert, Arizona. Didn't really know what I was doing, just kind of cruising. And I had some friends that had moved out here that were trying to do some stuff. And I figured, hey, why don't I go out there with you guys? So that's what happened. Once my lease was up, I just came out here. And that's where I am today. I've moved a couple more times, but yeah.
Nice. You're an actor?
Yes.
That's what he was trying to get you to say, I think.
I'm a human first and foremost.
That is what your identity is found in.
Yeah, but that's pretty much. I mean, I like to act, but I would like to just make movies.
Nice.
What kind of movies would you like to make, Stefan?
I always kind of wanted to do the Kubrick thing where you do like one of each genre.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice. That is cool.
Nobody ever thinks about it, but Kubrick like literally has like a period piece, like a horror psychological thriller,
A sci-fi,
like a comedy.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, sci-fi.
A suspense thriller with
And
Eyes
the funny
Wide
thing
Shut.
about that too is somebody's thriller could be like Barry Lyndon, and their comedy could be like Eyes Wide Shut.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Depends on how you. Well, it just depends on how you look at it. Some people think,
for sure.
like, I think Clockwork Orange is very funny. Like that would be my Kubrick comedy. Like I get such a kick out of that movie, but that for another person could be like a psychological thriller, which it also is.
Yeah. You gotta watch Dr. Strangelove, dude. You gotta see when Kubrick's actually trying to be funny, dude. That shit is hilarious.
I'm ready. I like Peter Sellers.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Being There, I was not a fan of, but
What are your favorite movies?
Well, right here on my wall, I got a big Run Lola Run poster, so that's definitely one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Drive with Ryan Gosling. That's probably tied with Taxi Driver for number one.
Oh, nice.
I like the Colors trilogy, but more specifically, I like Blue with Juliette Binoche.
Is this a French film?
Yeah, I think he's Polish, but it is in French.
So, I guess full disclaimer here, Stefan is the biggest movie buff I know.
I swear I'm not snooty.
No, it's not. Stefan isn't snooty about it at all, which
I
is
swear.
crazy. But like, homie knows all these random movies, like, Man Bites Dog. Like, I've never even heard of that movie till it came out of Stefan's. Actually,
Who said?
it
Alex
was
said it
Alex.
first, right?
Alex.
That's right.
Hello there,
Alex
that's
made a
me.
joke one day. He said, oh, Stefan's like the type of person who'd be like, oh man, we should watch Man Bites Dog. And then later that day, when I was hanging out with Stefan literally said, oh, we should watch Man Bites Dog one day. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I can't believe that. That's hilarious. I wish I could say Alex and I were in on it, but we definitely were not.
I know how to predict certain types of human behavior.
But yeah.
Yeah, Stefan knows all about those crazy French films.
Honestly,
well, I mean,
Go
Go ahead.
sorry, no, you go.
I was just gonna say it honestly, like puts me to shame like some of the times because people say, oh, you want to be an actor, and then they start talking to you about all these movies and you're like, never heard of them, never watched them, don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. There's a pretty good amount of directors I think that don't watch movies anymore.
Sure.
Well, I mean, especially actors. Like, you ever see people grill Mark Hamill about Star Wars trivia?
No, I
He's
haven't.
just an actor.
Yeah, I mean, they're just movies. I wouldn't get too upset.
Yeah,
There's I'm sure there's plenty of more important things I could be doing.
I need to
Sure.
be more cultured.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could argue this 10 ways to Sunday.
sure.
And that's what we're doing with this retrospective.
And I'll even throw this out there. While he's not so much known for his acting, but David Lynch, one of my favorite directors who does act in a lot of stuff, he doesn't watch movies. Like, I think he has a handful of movies that he really likes, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't go to the movies and go watch movies. He just makes movies every once in a while.
Although
And
I would love to see David Lynch watch Hobbs and Shaw and get his reaction.
Oh god.
What
But-
a movie!
Could you
And
imagine
knock
if he
my
loved
socks
it?
off.
That tribal dance
But-
they were doing was fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, don't be so hard on yourself, Jasmine. It's all right.
Yeah,
Movies are nothing but consumable entertainment.
yeah, I'm just a dweeb.
But no, it's always great when we go over to your house because if we want to watch a movie, we just get to look on that big giant wall of movies that are available.
That's true. Whose house?
Including The Mummy. We watched The Mummy one time.
Oh, we did. That's right.
And Eli had never seen it. Or was it you'd watched it before, but you'd always fallen asleep and not seen the whole thing?
Yes, that was it. And on top of that, Jasmine, confession time.
Oh?
I was so tired. Me and Stefan both were so tired. And we watched The Mummy. And when we dropped you off back at home, we were so tired. We're like, I think we were just like, I don't think we should have watched that movie. We should have just went to bed.
Well, why did I stay? What was happening that night? I don't even remember.
I don't know, but I mean, I don't regret it. I still
No,
watched
of
The
course
Mummy,
It
and I
wasn't my
enjoyed it.
idea to watch a movie, was it?
Yeah, it was my idea, and it backfired in my face.
Gosh.
And I was just like, I don't know, because I would have felt weird if I would have been like, oh, let's all watch The Mummy. That's Jasmine's favorite movie. I've never seen it. And then like 20 minutes later be like, actually, I want to go to bed. Sorry, Jasmine. Like, so I had to stick through it. We both stuck through it.
Well,
And,
thanks for seeing
wait,
it through,
yeah.
guys.
Of course.
Well, it was fun. I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun doing it. I'm not saying I
okay.
didn't, but I was just
I can
so
imagine.
tired. I was,
Yeah.
oh my god. If you weren't there, that definitely would have been like the third time I tried watching that movie and fell asleep.
I mean, I've been super tired in your guys' presence as well.
Oh, I'm
Like
sure.
when we tried to shoot your movie, and I was standing in the middle of the street for how long?
Oh god. We don't talk about those things.
And Stefan also photobombed one of my pictures. I was trying to be super artsy and take a picture under a street light in the middle of the night, and then I look at the picture later, and Stefan's rolling through the back on a skateboard, flipping the bird.
What?
Oh man.
Did that really happen?
Yeah, I haven't been able because Stefan's just got his middle finger up right behind my shoulder.
Yo, can I see that photo?
I'd have to find it. When did we shoot that? I'd have to go back. It's not on my phone.
January 2019.
Oh, was it that?
Yeah.
Let
Yeah,
me
I
see
don't
if I have
remember
it.
that at all.
You know,
Can you send that to the group chat?
January of 2019. You said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me find it. Oh, yep. It's right here. Hold on. I'm sending it to you guys right now.
But yeah, so what's next on the timeline after shirts?
So after our shirts came out in well, okay. So
September?
after our shirts came out in September of 2019, the next big thing we did was launch a Patreon in October of 2019, and this still blows my mind because there's a handful of people that actually want to give us money.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Still, to all the Patreon listeners, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, we love the people on the Patreon. They earned their halos and wings. Will you?
Oh my. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. That group of people, I really like the Patreon listeners. So if you
Oh
guys,
yeah, we got some cool fans out there.
That took a
But,
while to get up and running, though. I remember we were talking about it for a long time. Like every week we would get together and be like, "So let's talk about the Patreon," and like we would
'cause it's
talk
hard.
about things. I know.
The Patreon is difficult. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie. It's a lot of maintenance to keep up and running. You
Well,
know.
I think now would be a good time to say one of the things that I've been wanting to say is throughout this episode thus far, I've been saying we did this and we did that. We actually usually means Eli most of the time.
Yeah.
Eli is the one who does everything behind the
He's
scenes. He
he's the
runs
heart and soul.
Yeah, he sends out the newsletter, he does the Patreon, he does the editing and the posting of our episodes, he runs the Instagram, he mans our email, and recently he just revamped our entire website, which you can go visit now. I
Yeah,
mean,
now he's 15 grand in debt. So if anybody could help, there's a GoFundMe link in the description.
but I mean, I try to say it every once in a while, but now is like an intentional time to make it known that Cryptid Campfire runs mostly because of Eli.
Cryptid Campfire is Eli
Eli
Watson.
Watson.
Cryptid Campfire is nothing but a dream inside the mind of Eli Watson, and one day he'll wake up.
Like little baby shaved head Neo waking up in the Matrix.
But yeah, I believe that the Patreon is hard to keep up with. I mean, you juggle a lot of technical things. Ever since we started this, I still remember from the very beginning, like people were asking me like, "Oh, what kind of mics do you use? And what program do you use for your podcast? And where do you upload to?" And my answers were like, "I don't know. I don't do the tech stuff. That's a question for Eli."
Yeah. I don't know what mics we use. We're all using different mics now because of quarantini. But yeah.
Quarantini, weenie, yellow polka dot bikini.
That's an
That
old
she
one.
wore for the first time today.
Yo, we're gonna get flagged,
Oh,
dude.
when did I release the website? When did we do the first website?
Our original website was launched very I thought I said this. We launched our website in June of 2019.
I
The
don't
first version of the website.
I don't remember this, but yeah, that was good times. It was still a good website, like don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but the new one's better.
And then what happened in the timeline?
Yeah, and then what happened? Oh, we did one of my favorite episodes of all time. Oh wait, no. We ended our Alien Airlines, right?
Probably. I don't have that in the timeline.
Because Alien Airlines went on for freaking ever.
Mhm.
I know I've said there's like 14 episodes. There's actually 16 episodes in Alien Airlines. I
No,
think
there's not.
there is. I've counted them. And
it was a big
I'm
stretch.
not, I'm not lying. I think it was originally planned as 12, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I think it was like 12 episodes, and it ended up being 4 more than we planned on. And yeah, it ended up being so long, and I don't think we're ever going to do an Alien Airlines ever again, just because it's too much aliens, too many aliens.
But the good news is that we got a Toby out of it.
That's right.
That's
for my
true. Toby
birthday.
should be in the timeline. Toby should be in the timeline.
So if
Not
you're
only did we add a Stephen James Myers, we added an alien to the collection.
We added a Toby James Myers.
Toby James Myers, that kind of works though. So yeah, Toby is this alien I bought for myself for my birthday last year. He's like 4 feet tall, I think. He's a tiny little dude, but I got him for
He
this
was the
part.
hit of the party.
He was, dude. A lot of people liked him, but I was also scared people were gonna mess him up, so I kept him in hiding.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have this really awkward. It's on the Patreon. If you sign up for the Patreon, you can see this picture for yourself. It's an awkward picture of Jasmine holding hands with Toby. And I always think it's like an awkward prom photo. Like it's like taken before prom, and it's by some mom who's like, "Oh my goodness, you guys are so cute." But it's like you can tell the kids are all real awkward.
Well, we introduced Toby after the Area 51 raid because we wanted to go with the narrative that we
Okay.
busted him out.
That's right.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to adapt to American culture. And little known fact, at Eli's said birthday party, little Toby had his first kiss with Michaela Bollinger, dude.
No way.
I wasn't present for this.
And he had his first taste of fine human culture by taking a shot at Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Party animal, dude.
Yeah, he threw up, had his first taste of toothpaste. I don't
And
think he's a fan.
Can't get enough of the stuff. He eats it by the gallon.
So what's next on the timeline? Yeah, so Alien Airlines ends, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And boy, did it end with a bang.
The last episode. Do you count USOs as part of Alien Airlines? I can't remember. I think so, because that was like the finale, and then we went into our Lost at
Atlantis.
Sea. Yeah. So, our final Alien episode came out on November 12th of 2019, and oh my gosh, I remembered my birthday is in November. And there was an episode that we were recording on
It was
my
Atlantis.
birthday. Was it Atlantis?
Mm-hmm.
We were recording on my birthday, and that had been a horrible day. Just a horrible day for me. And my boyfriend ended up coming and surprising me at Eli's house while we were recording. And it was just a really fun moment, you guys. And then we all went out to Denny's, and I got nervous because some guy came in and started harassing the hostess.
Oh, yeah. That was so messed up. I think about that pretty often, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those like quintessential, just insane Hollywood moments of crazy homeless guy coming in berating the hostess, but like she's had enough, so she just gives it back to him.
I don't
Straight
think he
up.
was homeless though. I don't know. We were sitting right by the door. We were sitting
Homie
at like
was-
the first booth.
Homie was tweaking though, for sure. Homie was
Mm.
probably doing heroin or meth or some stuff. Like,
Okay.
just
It was
saying, dude.
super uncomfortable because we were all in there having a good time, eating our pancakes and whatever.
We're
And
talking
then
about
just-
Atlantis.
Yeah, and it's my birthday, and I'm opening presents, and we're happy, and then this guy comes in and just makes everything super awkward, and it's like, okay. But luckily, nothing escalated, and he ended up leaving, and the hostess stood her ground. So, everything ended up being fine, but it was pretty messed up.
Yeah, that was a tough host.
Mm-hmm.
But where does that take us?
Well, the Patreon was kind of the last big growth step that we took at the end of 2019. We've kind of just been smooth sailing along as best we could ever since this pandemic started. I mean, recording remotely has definitely been a
Well-
challenge.
Not
That's
well.
okay. Do you
Before
remember
we
when
get there, I guess.
Yeah. Do you remember when we went to go see the lights, but they weren't up?
At Christmas.
I do remember that. That
I
kind
was
of
so
sucked.
sad.
We were like a week, like 10 days too early.
Yeah.
But you remember? Does anyone actually remember the Lost at Sea tone?
No,
'Cause
I
I
don't ever
don't- I
remember
don't-
anything.
I don't remember anything from it. I'm like sometimes I look back at those episodes, just the titles, and I'm like, we talked about that? Like Atlantis? Like,
I
Uh,
remember Atlantis because I watched the movie Atlantis for part of my research.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was probably just like this. So we did the Alien Airlines. We did 16 episodes of all aliens, and then we're like, all right, we're doing Lost at Sea. We can do Atlantis and USOs.
Oh,
But it was also like the holiday season, so it was just like I remember like just insanity of trying to plan out the days of recording while
Yeah.
like figuring out work schedules. Well, I think Jasmine, did you go home in like December?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
flew home the day after we had our jolly fun time, or whatever we called it, our Christmas party night where we ate
Mhm.
way too many cookies and
Oh,
realized that
God.
Santa was basically a terrible person in that Rudolph movie.
Oh yeah. He is though. And we did one of my favorite episodes is that Yuletide Yeti episode, which is an epic, but
It was
it's
I
good.
think, is that the first one we did where we kind of retreaded something we covered already?
I think so. But I mean, it's our Christmas tradition.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much to the Yeti. Every time we look into it, there's always something new that kind of adds to the tradition.
But then and then we finished that tome up in January of 2020. Took a break to February, and that's when we started Cryptid Coliseum with the Loveland Frogman,
Yeah.
which Jasmine has personally seen on several
No.
occasions.
False.
And
Which Jasmine's actually related to.
Oh Lord.
oh my.
Don't start rumors.
Yeah. But I mean, she has seen them. So
No.
But yeah, so like Jasmine has said, Cryptid Coliseum was smooth sailing, and then we hit the quarantine, and it turned into a thing for a cool minute there, where it was
Yeah.
chaos. I bought mics for everybody, and just trying to
Yeah.
find something to record on.
Oh man, all the platform
Oh my
disasters.
gosh. It really was bad, you guys. We tried, what was it? Two websites? Two websites?
2 websites, 10 Mac 10s. No, I'm joking. It was a Squadcast and Zencaster, and we couldn't get them to work for all of us.
Dude, something was happening with my computer. I firmly believe that website screwed with my hardware because my computer was glitching hardcore every time we used that website, and I was getting worried. I was afraid about viruses and everything. I mean, it was a struggle too because we kind of butt heads about the whole quarantine thing because, at first there was thoughts about still meeting in person to record, but I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not coming. I'm not doing it. And so there was some tension there for a little bit, but then, again, Eli took the reins and was like, I'm sending you on mics and we're going to do it this way. We were like, okay. But then we still even butted heads about other things because I was being anal about calendars and stuff like that. And Eli, we had a fight. Like, we fought.
Yeah, we did.
It was not a fun time. Guys, Eli and I were literally on the phone, and we weren't screaming at each other, but we were very sternly talking to each other.
Very sternly, yes.
It was very stern.
Yeah, but we worked it out. We worked
We
it out.
did.
Everything's
Yeah,
okay,
it's
right?
all good.
Right?
The episode is removed from all platforms. It's fine.
Can you imagine if we released that? Like
That phone call.
the phone call, like we were just recording it the whole time.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Cryptid Coliseum? With the angle we took it in.
Dude, yeah, it's been sick.
It's pretty legit. And I like that it kind of came naturally. Like, we didn't have to force ourselves to think of an idea. It was just something that we had already kind of been talking about every once in a while. And we were like, hey, let's just make this a theme.
I mean, it just kind of, it really began with the first episode, right?
It did. It originated in Tome 1, Episode 1.
Yeah, when I just kind of was like, yeah, let's make all these lake monsters fight. And then...
After we spent like a whole 15 minutes talking about 3 of them or something like that.
That's fine. I know. I was editing that Chupacabra episode that just came out, and it's an hour and a half, dude.
Yeah.
The first time we covered the Chupacabra was what, 20 minutes, 25?
If that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. People seem to like the more well-researched episodes, but also people like our fun episodes too. So I can't say that. People like our episodes. They're
Yeah, we took it to the Cryptid Coliseum, started pairing cryptids together and kind of writing our own ideas of what their fights would be. And I mean, you guys got to write a few. What did you think?
Oh yeah, it was fun. I had a blast.
It was fun for ones that like I felt I could be creative with. Like, I only took on a couple of them. I think I only did one, actually. I just did the Tsuchinoko, right? I didn't do any others.
Not that I'm
But
aware of.
maybe I did. I don't think I did. But I don't know. It was fun. I was proud of what I did, but I was also glad I wasn't doing all of them. But, dude, I re-listened to our Frogman episode. We get so hyped for that battle because
Yeah.
none of us really like anticipated what Alex was gonna do or how he was gonna like tell this story, and he just comes out with this super descriptive battle and then leaves the cliffhanger, and I'm like, oh, we don't know who wins, and then we were like, oh, we should let the listeners decide and all this stuff. We were hyped. I really like that episode.
Yeah, that is a good one. And I think this is when we really got our Patreon stuff together too. Because now we're coming out with Patreon episodes pretty regularly. And we're constantly working on new stuff for the Patreon listeners. So, I mean, just this month, Alex started with, giving them wallpaper, like art, Like
See,
once
I
a
didn't
month.
even know this. I'm not even I don't even
Well,
keep up with Patreon.
it's brand new, so it hasn't, at the time of the recording, has not been announced yet. But by the time you listen to it, it will be out there. But yeah, I mean, it's dope. Like doing, you sign up, you get some exclusive episodes. We started the Cryptid Cinema Club with Boggy Creek and future movies, which I think the last poll I put out, because I put out a poll on the Patreon, so the Patreon listeners can vote on what movie they want us to watch next, and I think they voted. There's 8 people right now, I think. No, I think there's more than that. There's 8 people who can vote because there's different tiers. And so the 8 people who voted, of them, only 3 people voted, and they voted all different things. So we still have to figure out what we're gonna do. at this point. But if you guys wish to shift the tide, join the Patreon and vote. I have this to share because, as you may know, if you are a longtime listener of this podcast, I do talk, and I talk a lot. I
Hey,
guess
that's your right as an American citizen, my friend.
and the job of a podcaster.
More so the first part, I think.
Okay. I have said many things, and some of those things are incorrect. And I would like to take this moment to correct myself on some
Really?
things.
Amazing.
Yeah, just a couple
It's
of
too
them.
little, too late.
Oh no,
Like-
it's
So let's see. I actually have a list of some of the things. It's not extensive because these are either things that I remember saying that I later found out were incorrect, or I was, not so nicely pointed out to be incorrect. So I can't remember what episode I say this on, but I definitely do remember saying this multiple times, that Germany is a landlocked country. That is actually not true. Germany is not a landlocked country, and I will not be saying that going into the future. And I feel extra dumb because, because I've been to Germany. So
Air is human, my guy.
to err is human, yes. On the Mokele and Bembe episode, I say the Congo Basin was invaded by the French after Alex had suggested it was invaded by the Belgians. I was wrong. Alex was correct. Congrats.
ooh, that's right, everybody. Confirmation. Everything I say is correct.
Everything, yeah.
Bow down, mortals. Bow down before the new word of Alex Daikaiju.
This goes back to a cryptid fact about the Patterson Gimlin film, in which I write that it was filmed 60 years ago, which is incorrect. It's closer to 50, but I'm going to leave it up there because one day it will be true.
Well, look, how many, 50 years are we talking? If it's 57...
It was 1967.
Okay. Because if
So,
it's 57 years ago, that's close to 60.
No, it would be 53 years ago. So much closer to 50 than it is 60. The worst offender, in my opinion, is the Woolpit children. If you guys remember, I said in 2050 we can celebrate the 1,000-year anniversary of the Woolpit children. This is also incorrect. It will actually only be the 900-year anniversary, which means we won't live to see the 1,000-year anniversary.
To think
which makes
I looked up to you.
And I only have two more. This one is for the Patreon listeners. In the Project Blue Book 1.5, we talk about a guy named George Adamski who claims that he fought in the Mexican-American War, which I said was wrong because the dates don't line up. They do line up, and he probably most definitely fought in the Mexican-American War. And my final one, and I don't know how correct, and I actually throw this disclaimer out in the episode during the thylacine when we're talking about the bite pressure, and I said it doesn't have the strongest bite, but it probably just kept hanging on. I'm pretty sure I just made that up, and I don't think that's true at all. So I'm sorry, all listeners of the podcast, for anything you hear me say wrong. That is factually incorrect. I mean, I guess you can let me know, but I'm gonna try to keep it as factually correct as possible. Now.
That's crazy. If those are all the mistakes you made, think of the other mistakes that we might have said and didn't even realize.
Yeah, but I don't know. For some reason, people don't point that out to you guys. They only point out the stuff that I said wrong.
It's like really? that little section on Conan. We should have that for Eli. Prove Eli wrong.
I was gonna say, well, it takes a big man to come forward and say he's, made a mistake and he's willing to, put the facts straight. So I applaud you, sir. And if I've said anything wrong, which I'm sure I have, I can't even keep track of it. So you let me know if I say anything wrong on the podcast, because I'll be honest with you, I don't remember half the things I say.
Yeah, I definitely have contradicted myself before. I've noticed my own mistakes and claims that I've made which aren't true, just about like my personal life and things like that. Like I'll say one thing in one episode and then another in another. And so, it's whatever. But yeah, good on you for correcting your mistakes, Eli.
Yeah, good on
Yeah.
you. We're perfect. So
I was gonna say, I think if one thing comes to my mind, I want to say, in one episode, I say, I don't remember which one, I like Stefan a lot, and that's actually factually incorrect. I actually don't like Stefan that much,
Oh my gosh.
and I want to set the record straight and say, I should have said at the moment, I love Stefan James Myers.
Oh.
Hey,
Alex, I've always loved you ever since junior high school.
Take me, you fool. Take me away from this mad world.
Oh,
Bye,
dear.
guys. We both hang up.
This is especially funny because Alex is what, 5 years older than Stefan?
Hey, dude, it's you just lifted the veil. What's wrong with you?
Age is nothing but a number.
It's true, dude.
I'm sorry.
Just because I skipped ahead 5 years doesn't mean anything.
Well, hey, since you went ahead and corrected your mistakes from the past, do you want to take this moment and talk about what some of our future goals may be for the podcast?
Oh, for the podcast as a whole?
No, just what you had mentioned.
For
Just
me
the podcast
personally,
in general. Yeah, our work.
well, for me personally, I hope to stop saying and a lot, because I do say that quite a bit, and it annoys myself the most because I'm the one who has to edit.
That's
So-
true. You're probably hyper aware of it now.
Yes. Yep, there I go again. So I also want to stop starting sentences with like. It's not so bad. It's just a couple of episodes where I'm just like, bro, like, yo, bro, like, like the chupacabra, like, is like, yo, like, and I'm just like, why am I doing this?
You're channeling your inner Taron Egerton.
Does
I
he
don't
say
get
that
it.
a lot?
In Kingsman, he does a lot. Like bruv. He starts every sentence like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Like,
done about 15 donuts in my car.
What else? Did anyone else have any personal goals for the podcast, I guess?
Well, I anticipate continuing to learn how to be more adaptable. I think I've been getting better though. I've had to because of the situation that we're in right now with recording remotely and dealing with the coronavirus. Stuff is always changing and it throws off my organization and I have to be okay with that. I mean, that's part of why there was some tension just between Eli and me is because of my ness of wanting a schedule to be clear and follow what I thought was happening, but I can still appreciate my own organization skills but be adaptable to change and willing to move things around, which we've had to do quite a bit during the coronavirus.
Yeah. I feel like you're blaming yourself pretty hard for this, or you're pretty down on yourself for that fight between me and you, Jasmine. So,
No, I mean I am
I
because it was kind of my fault, but I mean I'm
But-
not kicking myself about it every day. I'm just
Well-
acknowledging that I was
Well, you should-
overreacting.
well, yeah, don't even worry about it. Did anyone else have personal goals or not?
Well,
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead, Stefan. Tell him.
Alright, I mean, nah, you go.
Fine, I will. You big lug.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to bring a better product with doing my research. It's definitely changed throughout our run of doing 100 episodes, and looking back, sometimes my info would be bare bones if non-existent. So I've definitely been trying to get better at that. So when it comes time to be like, oh, we're talking about this cryptid, it's like, oh, I know it a little more than just kind of spouting bullet points I copy and pasted from Wikipedia.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when you can like really sit with all the information, and when you get here, you're not so reliant on your notes.
Mhm.
It is, yeah.
Just kind of like shoot what's in your head,
Mm.
and then only have to look for like certain dates if it's like something specific. But like descriptions of the animals, that kind of stuff, where they're from, like it's pretty cool having that like at your disposal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I could tell you a lot about the bunyip.
Oh, I'm sure. I barely even remember that episode.
But
Jeez, there's a lot of episodes from Cryptid Coliseum that I'm like, I don't remember that.
I mean, that's one of the things that I've experienced ever since we first started this. Like, we do the episode, and then months later, it's like, wait, what? We talked about that? I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, but then you got to think, that's how your whole life is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wait, what? You're like, how many days are in your brain or that you experienced and lived through that you just have no recollection of?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My entire childhood. I'm sorry.
Well,
Nah.
well, you know what?
Nah,
You know
not
what's
all.
bizarre is talking about that is like you said, how many days do you actually remember? But it's weird when you remember something that you thought you forgot,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
because there's been a few times to where I'll be sitting, I draw a lot, and so I do a lot of internal thinking while I'm drawing. And then next thing I know, I'll remember being at some kid's like eighth birthday at like the DC Discovery Zone,
Discovery Zone. Oh my god.
right? And if you don't know what that is, it was back in the '90s. It was like an alternative Chuck E. Cheese, to where it was like they had an arcade and ball pits, and they had this little like robot that was their mascot. And I'll just remember it in like vivid detail, and I'm like, that's something from 20 years ago.
Discovery Zone was lit, man.
Dang, dude, that's nuts. Memory is weird. Why does it work the way it works?
Chemicals,
That's what I'm
baby.
saying, man.
What does that bring us to?
I think that might bring us to our battles, guys.
Whoa.
We're doing it in full
We got-
tradition.
We got some battles lined up.
We cannot end Cryptid Coliseum without a couple of cryptid battles. And today, we're doing something special, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've been talking this whole episode about how this is a retrospective on our last year, but it's also the finale to Cryptid Coliseum, guys.
Yes, this is the end.
That's right.
So thank
It's
you,
the beginning
everybody.
of the
Good
end,
night.
my friend.
Well, to finish off this tome, we've each compiled a couple of cryptid battles of our own that we wanted to see happen. And the twist that we're putting on these ones, guys, is you're going to get to know who wins. There's going to be a champion at the end of all these battles.
Oh, yes, champions.
So each of the guys wrote 2 battles. I only wrote 1, so I'll be going towards the end, but we're about to hear from everybody else first.
So, here we go. The Cryptid Coliseum. Oh, before we begin, I should note that my particular cryptid battles come from the Instagram story I put out a couple weeks back about who would you want to see in the Coliseum. So I took some of my favorites and did some battles about those. I don't know if we talked about that yet.
We have now.
Okay.
All right, there we go. All right. We open in the primordial jungles of South America. The Colosseum jammed into the side of a mountain, looming over magnificent waterfalls and lush trees. Inside the Colosseum, jungle vines wrap around spectators' chairs while huge rubber trees tower above. In the thickly forested battle arena, a gate opens. Stomping through the opening is a red, scaly, black-striped dinosaur. It's the Kasai Rex, imported from Africa.
Woohoo.
Standing on 2 legs, this beast roars at the audience, getting cheers. On the other side of the Colosseum, a foul stench slowly begins to emanate. Lumbering out of the tunnel is a cyclops, with a disgusting and repulsive mouth in place of its stomach. It's the Mapinguari. The two legends stare each other down, both masters of their own jungle, but now one defends his home and the other battles for supremacy. The Kasai Rex charges. The Mapinguari tucks and rolls itself out of the way. You know, the old tuck and roll method. The Mapinguari grabs a tree out of the ground and chucks it at the dino. The Rex lashes out violently, trying to bite the Mapinguari, getting scarily close to its neck. The Mapinguari grabs vines and belches into the dino's face. The Rex closes his mouth and eyes, giving the Mapinguari a chance to tie its mouth closed. The Mapinguari laughs at the struggling dinosaur, but the vines don't hold for long. The vines snap as the Mapinguari, as the Kasai Rex roars once more.
Sorry, whoop.
I wrote the wrong cryptid. All right. He charges the Mapinguari once again. This time, the Mapinguari doesn't move. The dino runs, and just as it opens its jaws for the killing blow, the Mapinguari opens its belly mouth, and the dino falls in. The Mapinguari chomps its mouth closed and rips the Rex's head off.
Oh.
The crowd watches in astonishment and quiet as the belly mouth chews the Rex's head.
Oh, man.
The Mapinguari belches up the skull of the Rex that has now been picked clean and stands victorious as the crowd goes wild.
Yay!
There you go. You ever seen a dinosaur get its head bitten off by a belly mouth? Didn't think so.
No.
You just did now, kid. And that was
Thank
just
you.
Battle 1.
Battle 1.
Cryptid Coliseum compilations.
Stefan, it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We find ourselves deep in a dense forest as a silence fills the air. As we make our way through the trees, we come across a swamp and a large clearing. We continue to zoom in and notice a pair of eyes above the surface of the swamp. Its eyes are locked, the eyes of a buru are locked with a 6-foot-tall yeti hiding behind a tree. The stillness cannot be overstated. A bird above both creatures whistled like the ring of a boxing bell. You know, a little ding ding. It's kind of a weird noise for a bird to make, but hey, I didn't write it.
Except that you did.
It was on. The buru ripped out of the water and charged at the yeti. It whipped its tail and sent the yeti flying. The yeti landed Spider-Man style and pulled a tree right out of the ground and hurled it right back at the buru.
Ooh.
It smashes into the side of its body, damaging vital organs. Struggling to breathe, but realizing it needs to think quickly, the buru understands there's only one option, one thing left to do. As the yeti speeds up during the recovery, with extreme force, the buru throws a boulder into the air and mega tail whips it at a ferocious velocity towards the yeti's face. The yeti's eyes open wide when it realizes there's nothing left to do. The yeti's too slow. The boulder hits him square in the face, decapitates him.
Oh no!
Oh no!
The yeti had met its match, and the buru can sleep a good night's sleep that night.
I gotta tell you, I don't know what the buru is. Is that one of the episodes that you guys did for Patreon?
It's like a little alligator type thing, you know, like a little lizard.
How do you spell it? I've been trying to find it and I can't.
It's B-U-R-U.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the Coliseum was under maintenance, so I kept it out. But yeah, that yeti didn't stand a chance, dude. It was all cocky.
Oh man,
That's crazy. You would think the yeti would come out on top, but
Hey man, not in my world.
Ooh,
I guess not.
For the buru, he got vital organs damaged, right, from the tree throw.
Yeah, he's gonna fall asleep. That's what I meant. He's gonna sleep soundly. He's gonna die.
Oh man.
No!
He passes away as the camera lingers on.
But he was victorious, so he He has lived his life to the fullest, I would imagine.
Oh man. Ooh, you got me. And now, is it my turn?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's prepare. We have an aerial shot of the Coliseum, and the battleground slowly gives way as it starts to fill with water,
Oh.
till it's completely submerged, and the ground completely falling away to a deep abyss. An underwater grate opens up, and out shoots a submarine-sized black shape. It glides through the water, turns around, and flips up, revealing itself to be the prehistoric predator, the Megalodon.
Oh,
Its giant teeth shining in the air, all kinds of fossils and remains wedged in the gums from years of eating. It lands back in the water and shoots a giant wave that engulfs the audience. This is the splash zone. Suddenly, everything goes quiet as the air gets thin and the sky darkens. There's a wailing in the background, the shaking of chains, and a deep green fog enters into the Coliseum, and people see the shape of a ship. It's the Flying Dutchman
Yeah.
oh.
being summoned for its battle in the Coliseum with the prehistoric Megalodon. As it comes in, you hear the screaming of the skeletal crew in complete agony, the shaking of chains. You even see a man wiping blood on the floor with a mop that's somebody's face.
Oh.
Yep.
The Megalodon is quick as it shoots all the way down into the dark abyss and comes shooting right back up and comes on the left-hand side of the Flying Dutchman and tries to crush it with its big weight. The Dutchman quickly does a maneuver and the tail end of the part gets crashed. Wood splinters everywhere as the Megalodon crashes through. And the Flying Dutchman continues to sail away, parts of it flying into the wind as some of its skeletal crew turn into dust.
Nice.
A man with half a jaw screams, "Terror on the starboard side," as they get the cannons ready. The Megalodon charges again from underneath, and they shoot out giant, rattling, rusted chains from the cannons below. It strikes straight into the Megalodon's sides and hooks into it. The creature falls off to the side of its trajectory, and it starts to drag down the ship. There's a creaking as the ship starts to be pulled in half as the weight of the Megalodon is struggling against it.
Oh no.
The captain, a crazed Dutchman with nothing but a beard made of fire and a skeleton face, screams, "Damn the Megalodon and damn all in the stadium,"
Yeah.
as demons shoot out the front of the ship and straight into the Megalodon's beating heart.
Oh no. He's dying.
They rip and tear and completely eviscerate the ribcage of the Megalodon, blood darkening the water. And then the demons shoot out of the water, the bloody remains of the Megalodon being spewed everywhere, and they go into the audience and possess a few people.
What?
Oh no.
The crazed people scream and shout, and they dive into the water and drown themselves.
Jeez.
As the Flying Dutchman slowly begins to rebuild itself and disconnects the corpse of the Megalodon that falls into the abyss. As it begins to sail away with all the new souls of the possessed people ready to join and replace the crew, something happens as the water begins to boil, and a giant green shape shoots out of the water and impacts into the Flying Dutchman, and it completely explodes in a ghostly explosion that shoots just bones and planks of wood everywhere. And we see that it's the ghost of the Megalodon
Oh whoa.
that shoots into the air, lets out a disgusting guttural roar, and flies away off into the distance. A brand new horror ready to face the world.
That's crazy. That reminds me of. Is that the end? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, that's the end.
Okay. That reminds me of all the crazy shark movies that there are. Like, there's a ghost shark movie, and there's Sharknado, and oh, that's funny.
I tried to bring that kind of sci-fi channel-esque page to it.
Nice.
What'd you guys think?
Definitely a
like
twist.
Incredible as usual.
I love the
expect
Ghost
nothing
Shark
less.
thing. Yeah, I was waiting for a callback to Smash to Atoms, but I guess we'll do without it.
Ooh, we gotta save that for those who know.
Those who know.
One and done, dude. One and done.
Yeah, subscribe to our Patreon, and you could be one of those who know. So it's back to me, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, in New England, the Coliseum rests atop a snowy mountaintop. The spectators are frozen in place, both figuratively and literally,
Ooh.
as one cold door opens on one end of the Coliseum. A tall, bone-thin humanoid emerges from the dark, its antlers barely making it through the doorway. It stands and looks around as a small snowstorm begins. Wind blowing the snow, obscuring its vision, the Wendigo takes a few steps forward as it hears the voice of a person. The words are indistinguishable. It's just empty chatter, but the Wendigo stalks its prey nevertheless. But suddenly, a dark figure emerges in the whiteness. A large, tall, and built figure stands with an axe in hand. The voice continues to speak, and the Wendigo realizes it's coming from the silhouetted figure.
Ooh.
The goat man raises its
Creepy.
axe above its horned head and bleats as he charges the Wendigo. The
Oh.
Wendigo ducks to dodge, but the axe hits one of his antlers, breaking it off, which I feel like would hurt a lot.
Ooh, yeah.
The Wendigo screeches in pain as it whips around, slicing the goat man's face. The goat man leaps backwards, and the Wendigo raises its arms above its head as it begins to talk in black speech, controlling the snow in some arcane and evil magic. Huge wind drafts push the goat man around. Push after push, the goat man loses his grip on his axe until it flies away from him. He bleats in terror. The Wendigo appears before him, towering over the goat man. The goat man charges using his horns as weapons, but as he nears the Wendigo, he ducks out of the way and pushes the goat man off balance. He tries to scramble to his feet, but cannot, because the Wendigo puts his foot on the back of the goat man. The goat man bleats in horror as the Wendigo shoves its razor-sharp claws into its back and grabs his heart. The Wendigo holds the goat man's heart up high for the audience to see and takes a bite, and the crowd goes wild.
Oh man, that's gory, man.
But like, it's a cannibal spirit, bro, so it's gotta like eat
know.
somebody.
That's
Oh,
wild.
gross. Ooh. Ooh. I think before cuz it's Stephanie, you next.
Yeah.
I think this is time for I have a little surprise.
Oh?
Everyone, it's the 100th episode. It's the grand finale of Cryptid Campfire. We got this crazy greatest hits going on. But what would be a finale be without the Cryptid Coliseum halftime show?
Oh, what is this?
We open up on the Coliseum. It's the halftime show, baby. They got tiki torches lining it. Everyone's got little glow sticks ready. It's the halftime show. There's a blimp going above, shooting confetti everywhere. The gates open up slowly, and we hear a faint beat kind of coming in.
Oh god.
Kind of a slow dance beat, and we see some shapes emerge from the tunnel. And they're well dressed and they're carrying a coffin. It's the coffin dance guys. And they're dancing and they're strutting and they're coming out. They got the coffin ready. That song's playing that's really catchy and everyone's going wild. So after,
How did we book them?
We spared no expense, good friend. After they make their way to the center and the coffin pops open and a skeleton shambles and the booms from the blimp. The announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the comedic stylings of Undead Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
And what follows is perhaps the greatest 15 minutes of comedic gold with insane gestures, this jaw flapping up and down, the audience laughing. At one point, he even holds up a severed finger of a Yeti, and the crowd goes wild. It goes down in history as the greatest comedy act of all time.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna make the halftime show be SpongeBob.
Well, I was gonna say, and then at
Could
one
you
point,
imagine?
Maroon 5 comes out and they play the SpongeBob song, which everybody, yeah, but it's a fake out because they play something else, and everyone boos, and then a Thunderbird comes by and swoops up and carries them away, much
Dude,
to
that's
everybody's
funny.
cheering.
Thank you for entertaining us with the halftime show, Alex.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Next time, J-Lo would be nice, but I'm just kidding. Just kidding, that was dope. Narrowly avoiding the drop bear, the squonk continues its melancholic endeavors, wandering the world alone. It continues crying, still with the boos from the Coliseum still ringing in the background. Its unwavering crying might finally be taking its toll on our poor squonk. It finds a nice spot to rest near a berry bush and some mushrooms. What a lovely feast this will be, says the squonk. Ooh, as he partakes. Delicious. The squonk gets drowsy from the delicious meal and decides to rest and take a nap. Then it fades, and it fades back in. As the squonk awakens, it sees that it was no longer in the woods, but right out front of a radio shack in Bedford, Virginia. It sees itself on the video wall on both sides of the entrance. Highly disoriented and eyes perpetually filled with tears, the squonk walks toward the door, but notices that an elongated, fleshy being was being reflected back at him on the television screens.
Ooh.
It looks back at the delayed and laggy video. I am no longer a squonk. I am a skyfish, it exclaims.
Oh?
And it cuts to black. There's a little epilogue, okay? Because that was his metamorphosis.
Okay.
The epilogue fades in from black, and we're back in the woods, and we see the squonk on the ground where he was resting, foaming at the mouth and convulsing.
Oh no.
But it had stopped crying, and that's where we fade to black. Finally. That's it.
It was a metaphorical battle between himself.
Yeah, that was an internal battle. But
An internal struggle. Yeah, I like it though. It's all about self-identity and
he might have died though. We don't know. That's what he gets for leaving the Coliseum.
Is it like the ending of Birdman?
Oh yeah, I mean, make of that what you will. I can
is
make
there
a
an
little
epilogue to the
previs.
epilogue where
Should I?
Emma Stone walks into the hospital room and stares out the window and then looks up to the sky?
The drop bear comes back from the Coliseum and nurses the squonk back to health.
Aww.
But the squonk is fully convinced it's a skyfish.
Does the squonk shoot its nose off during the grand finale of the play? Come one, come all, we accept all tales of the strange at Cryptid Coliseum.
There's really a Radio Shack in Bedford, Virginia.
And they have a squonk problem.
It's Jasmine's turn now, right?
Yes, take it away, Jasmine.
It is. Let me take a drink of water real quick so I don't cough during this. Ahem. My flight has just landed in my home state of Ohio. I step off of the plane and into the cornfield. You think all crop circles are left by UFOs? No, my friends. Today, the maze has been pressed down by something much greater. The Cryptid Coliseum has taken its place within the Buckeye State.
Yeah! Yeah, Ohio!
A murmur of "oops" echo through the crowd as people squeeze by one another to take their seats. Today's event has brought in an audience much larger than the Pro Football Hall of Fame could ever dream of. My family joins me in the front row, and the crowd chants OHIO as we await the opening of the gates.
Woohoo.
The first challenger leaps onto the battleground. The 4-foot-tall bipedal Loveland frogman stands prepared to face his opponent. From the opposite side of the Coliseum, we hear a deep roar. But it comes not from the mouth of a living creature. It's the rev of the engine belonging to the infamous Blue Granada.
Woohoo!
The melonheads skid into the arena, their luminous red eyes locked onto their amphibious target. They're planning on frog legs for dinner.
Woohoo!
They floor it towards the frogman, but he jumps onto the front of the vehicle, climbs over the roof, and gracefully somersaults off the back. The melonheads throw the car into reverse. The frogman hunches down onto the ground as if to brace for impact, and the Granada rolls over his body. The melonheads step out of their vehicle, utensils in hand and razor-like teeth glistening in the sunlight. Could the battle really be over this quickly? Just as they near the frogman's seemingly lifeless body, a random herd of cows stampedes through the Coliseum. After the dust settles and confusion subsides, we see that the frogman is no longer lying on the ground. He is now in the driver's seat of the Blue Granada. The melonheads let out a screech and charge towards the carjacker. The frogman hits the gas and barrels forward in the commandeered vehicle. And just when you think there's going to be a collision, the frogman swerves. The frogman swerves the wheel, and as if in slow motion, we see him extend a magic wand out the window, emitting sparks that engulf the melonheads. Suddenly, they're gone. The melonheads have simply vanished, victims of a spell cast by the mystical frog wizard.
Oh.
The crowd erupts in cheers. However, our champion remains humble, throwing on a pair of shades and peeling out of the Cryptid Coliseum in his new ride, victorious.
Heck yeah, dude.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
I had to come up with some good Ohio cliches and stereotypes to make it real fun.
But wait, where did the melonheads go?
We'll never know.
Are they in the Coliseum still?
No, they vanished.
But where did they go?
We
They're
don't
in the
know.
spaces between.
They went wherever the frogman sent them.
I heard what Alex was saying, dude.
What did he say?
To the space between spaces. It's from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Ooh, that was
Dude,
awesome.
that was awesome. Yeah.
That was a good ass one.
I love it.
It was the only one that I really felt like excited about. That's why I only did one, because I was like, all right, I'm really gonna put my effort into this and make this fun. You know, it's 2 Ohio cryptids. I'm from Ohio. Gotta make it fun. So that was
Ohio.
my final Cryptid Coliseum battle.
Nice. And I guess this brings us to the final finale.
The
I think so.
finale of finales.
It's the grand send off, I believe, for Cryptid Coliseum. And so yeah, I'd like to say that this is probably the last Cryptid Coliseum battle for a while. You know, we might come back to it, but for now, this is. We open up on Cryptid Coliseum. A giant metal gate opens. The Loveland Frogman emerges, wand in hand, ready to battle. He's fought many hard battles and hopes that this will be his last one. He's tired, he's scarred, he's scared, and he wants it to end. Across the other door, there's an opening. And out floats a floating red shape. It's the Flatwoods Monster. They face each other.
Yeah.
It glistens in the sun, almost kind of a chrome red. Suddenly, the Flatwoods Monster fires a bright laser beam from its huge eyes, the impact exploding to the ground next to the frogman, who dodges quickly. The alien lets out a few more laser beams, explosions rocking the arena. In the confusion, the quick-footed frogman ducks behind some rubble. He leans down against the rubble. He leans down to the ground while the Flatwoods Monster scans for any signs of life. Feeling the ground, much of it full of blood and pain, the frogman emits a small, soft chant of chirps and ribbits, harnessing the ancient powers around him. He uses his strength to summon help. The floating alien approaches where the frogman hides, readying its deadly eye beams. When the ground below it erupts, a giant reanimated skeleton of a plesiosaur charges forward, colliding with the shocked alien. The impact sends the flatwoods monster to the ground as more skeletons break through the ground.
Oh my god.
There's saber-toothed tiger skeletons, skeletons of humans with canine-like heads, giant humanoid ape-like creatures. All these skeletons surround the flatwoods monster as it screams, as bones and claws break away at its armor. The frogman approaches the carnage. He slowly raises his arms and the skeletons stop, and then they crumble away, dust in the wind. Inside the twisted heap of the fallen flatwoods monster's armor is a small gray alien, its eyes huge and full of terror. The frogman raises his wand to end his opponent, when suddenly the small alien begins to laugh, and a beeping sound is heard.
Oh no.
The frogman realizes the self-destruct timer, and he begins to run away as the fallen flatwoods monster laughs in the background. He clambers up the side arena, running past confused and panicked spectators. He reaches the top outer wall and looks at the sweeping, vast landscape before him. It's a foreign alien world. Behind him, he hears a loud bang as he jumps out of the Coliseum and into the whole new world of unknown danger. The explosion engulfs the Coliseum in a massive fireball. Bodies are thrown and they crisp away in the heat. Massive walls melt and collapse. The flaming wreckage begins to fold in on itself, going more and more inward till there's nothing but a fiery hole.
Oh.
The frogman slowly approaches, and he sees something shining in the last weak flames. It's a gold plaque, fused to the ground from the heat. It reads, "Behold our terrible battles, and tremble ye mighty. The Cryptid Coliseum will return in a new time, in a new world." Fade to black.
It's so dramatic.
So did
Nice.
all the spectators die?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
no.
we wanted to send the Cryptid Coliseum out with a bang.
That's gonna be. We are never going to financially recover from that. That's crazy.
But yeah, well, what do you guys think about this whole Cryptid Coliseum that we've set up?
I'm kind of sad now that it's gone.
I know, it's over, dude. It's the end.
That's crazy.
It's not going around destroying things just to kidnap cryptids and have them fight to the death.
You know what? That's true. The Coliseum itself was a little bit problematic. But it's been a fun tome. I've really enjoyed being able to pair things up. And I love the way that the listeners have been engaged throughout this tome by deciding who they think should win in the battle via Instagram.
Yeah, we've got some really good answers because we always put out the who do you think would win when the episode drops. And there's some people who go pretty in depth with like various factors, and it's pretty great.
Oh, and we might be doing a big bracket, March Madness style, for some cryptid battles coming up. Taking like 60 cryptids and see how it boils down over the weeks or so with Instagram people voting.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, why not? To see who becomes the victorious cryptid of the Coliseum, but we'll see.
Oh man, guys, 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Yep.
And here's to 100 more.
Yeah.
Honestly, when we get there, 100 is gonna seem like nothing. I mean, 30 seems like nothing. When we did our first retrospective, we were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we've done 30 episodes." That's like nothing compared to what we've done now.
I know, straight up, it's wild. But yeah, it's been fun.
Oh yeah.
What did I want to say? Oh yeah, we're not jumping straight into the next tome right away. We are jumping into summer camp.
Hey!
Hey
Everybody get your lanyards and your ball caps.
Yeah, get your neon ball caps, get your little weird keychain things that everyone used to make, Get your Air Nikes. It's 1997. It's gonna be the best summer ever. Goosebumps is coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. This next couple of episodes, I think.
Yeah, after the blood and the carnage and the viscera that was Cryptid Coliseum.
Yeah, we're doing something a little more fun. So, and who knows, if it goes well, maybe we'll bring it back next year. A little summer camp.
I miss summer camp. I wish I could go to a real summer camp, but I can't because of coronavirus.
That's why we got Cryptid Campfire summer camp.
Yeah, this is our summer camp.
I'm down.
Where do I build the fire?
In the fire pit, silly.
In
with
your
safety
heart.
regulations.
In your heart.
With Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear. But yeah, we'll see you next time.
You're just gonna sign off like that?
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Now, if I'm gonna be browsing the internet, if I want to know who my camp counselors are for summer camp, where can I go online to find you guys?
Well, if you want to find me, I'm Alex Daikaiju. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Alex Daikaiju. That's Alex Daikaiju. On my Instagram, I post a lot of art that I do, usually cryptid monster based. So be sure to check that out. And I'll be trying to have some cool like summer based cryptid stuff for this coming adventures. And if I wanted to know who's going to be the best talent show camp counselor Jasmine May with, where can I find out about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My name is Jasmine May with on both. JasmineMaeWyth.
Ooh.
Nice.
I was gonna say, I was like, we don't have any sources to state because we are our own sources.
It's true. All of our information comes from our previous 99 episodes.
And if I wanted to know who's the cool kid who knows all the spots to smoke without getting caught,
Alex, I told you Jerry isn't here today.
I know, so I gotta have Stefan say something instead.
If you wanted to find me on Instagram, you can find me at Myers Stefan. That's MYERSSTEFFEN, and that's it. Thank you. Good night.
Heck yeah. Good night to you, sweet prince. And if I want to know the guy who's going to be doing all the cool scheduling and figuring out the arts and crafts and all the camp activities, the Eli Watson, tell us about yourself.
You can find me at the Eli Watson on Instagram, and I'm back on Twitter.
It's always a gamble with you.
Yeah, it is. You never know what you're gonna get. So, but yeah, you can find me on Instagram for sure. And I also run the Cryptid Campfire pages. So you can follow at Cryptid Campfire on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be putting out announcements for the summer camp thing. You know, we got to figure that out still. But yeah, and you can, like we've been talking about this entire time, our Patreon page. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you'll get loads of goodies along with exclusive episodes and early access to episodes. Mm-hmm. And who knows what else may come down the line. And if you feel so inclined, visit cryptidcampfire.com and you will have access to the official Cryptid Campfire t-shirt. And yeah, and it'll be great.
Those substitutes.
Yeah, and they're fun shirts to wear. So
what if I prefer bootleg clothing?
Well, then it's probably going to fall apart in the wash.
Aha.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Bootleg,
I don't know. That Shania Twain shirt I have that's all shredded up looks pretty cool. Imagine if a Cryptid Campfire shirt looked that way, dude. Well, hip dude walking down the street. Not me, of course.
You take your aesthetic AF and get out of here.
Hey, but actually, if you guys do buy a shirt and you are talented with that kind of like remaking it, like if you do shred shirts or if you do like bleach it or something like that, take a picture of it and tag us in it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, or even if you buy a shirt, tag us in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. That's obvious. You should tag us in your pictures if you purchase a shirt.
Yeah, and we'll put you on our story.
Be like, hey, look at this cool guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about it, huh?
I
Sure.
think
Yuppers.
so. I mean, we
Alright.
came, we saw, we conquered.
Nice.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
Honestly-
it's done.
Honestly, if there's anybody out there who has listened to every episode that we've put out, all 100, thank you. You're amazing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everybody else who listens to even one of our episodes and gives us a chance is also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
Yep. See you guys
Yeah.
later. Here comes the summer.
Yeah.
This podcast is a part of Straight Up Strange Productions. Discover more shows like this one at straightupstrange.com.